Well, once again, we have a fantastic one on That's Classic. This is a really interesting one. I have two women on because they were twins who played young Rose Wilder on Little House on the Prairie, and it's just fun to have them here. So I have Jennifer and Michelle Steffin. So welcome.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
I'm good. It's great to have you guys on. Hey, so look, I had Jennifer Donati on too, and I kind of treat it as like the elephant in the room, so to speak. It's like people are like, "Hey, come on, they were so young. What did they know about it? Whatever, all that." But I always look at it in a different angle, and that is that you obviously had, parents. What have you been told about that time on the set? From your parents. I don't know if you have both mom and dad. I don't know about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
But yeah, what did they tell you about, like, let's say possibly Melissa or Michael Landon or Dean Butler or any experiences?
Just the unique that between the interactions with us and the other cast members that we kind of all connected in a way. Like it was instant, like it felt right. I don't know how to explain it.
That's okay. No, I think that says it. And how about yourself? Did you want to add to that? Yeah,
It's
Jennifer,
like
did you want to add?
just like she says, our mom and dad said that there was a unique connection that we all got. They all took us in as family and interacted with us as if we were real family on the show, off and on screen. There was never an issue. There was always making sure that we were doing well and we were part of the whole Little House family at the time we were filming. And they welcomed our parents and whoever was with my parents to help us, because of course there was two of us on set.
Right.
There, one's always on scene and one's off scene. So, they welcomed all the family and friends that helped out during this filming.
What did they tell you about how you actually got the part in the first place? What's the story behind all of that?
So my memory, because we're trying to type the information our mom gives us, is she was helping the agency look for new sets of twins to continue on, because
Oh, interesting.
they stopped with season 9. They ended or canceled the show, and then they came back a while back later to start the 3 movies, which we were on the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lady turned to mom and asked her, "Why don't you take the girls and audition them and see if they get the part?" And she took us in. She was working for the Mothers of the Twins Club, is how she was helping the agent. She was
Mothers of the Twins Club.
West Covina. West Covina.
Wow. Okay.
So she was helping. I think she was hoping for a while, the lady, and then that came upon, and she took us to do the audition. I can't remember who was with her at the time. Was it grandma or that? I don't know. We have to double check with her.
Yeah.
That took us in there. We were interacting with Michael, right? Or Victor. I think Michael Landon was there, but I believe more so from what mom said was Victor French was there, plus Susan. Well, she goes by Susan McCrae now. But when we're in there, Victor French kind of resembled in a way our grandfather, and we just went in there and pretty much like we knew them and got the part.
Oh, that's very cool. And Susan McCrae, she was it the casting director?
Yes.
Little House?
Kent McCrae's wife at the end.
Right.
And we just recently met her in Connecticut, and she remembers our audition. Remembers that we were part of it. So that was a full circle, surreal.
Yeah.
For 2.5, you don't have. Well, I don't physically have memories before first grade. So like my memories are our mom's memories, our dad's memories, the photos we were given, or anything our family tells us. Or watching episode 2. So that kind of helps a little.
Sure.
We constantly are rewatching our 2 movies that we were on.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if this happened to you or to both of you or not, but when I talked to Jennifer, she said that, part of my question too with her was why? Why reconnect? What is it? And, I was like, is it like you wanted to be able to tour, you wanted to whatever? And it was very interesting on her side of the coin. It was, she wanted validation. She was a baby, you were a little, toddlers, same thing. And she just wanted that validation of I really was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you relate with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we knew there was another set of twins. We just didn't know if there was one between season 9 and then us, because we didn't get the whole story. But the fact that, how many years later we all meet and we're going on these events and getting to know each other, and now hopefully, because there was an issue for a while that not many people knew there was 2 sets, so they put her stuff, her and her sister stuff on ours, and
I keep getting my name on Jen's photo on people,
which we keep correcting. It's that there's so much going on that we've over the years tried to fix it, and I just recently tried fixing it, so I kept trying to push it off, like, okay, well, we were only on the last 2, there was another set of twins, please give them credit. And I believe she just fixed it too, so that now it's hopefully going to go on to hers. But it's just the fact that people are now knowing there's 2 sets of twins. There was the, from when they first got on to about a year and a half when they end, and then we came on, we were 2.5. So technically a year later, we were on it.
Yeah.
And we never, like, her and her sister are owed their spotlight. We have ours, but we try to, in a way, when we're at the events, do it together because we're all under the same umbrella.
Sure.
We're a family. Even though it's a cast family, we still are family.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, as you know, I've interviewed a lot of the cast, and I know quite a few of them. And I think that is as true as it comes. It is a real family, in that sense. What do you remember? I guess basically it's kind of like when I asked Jennifer, like, how did you reconnect with the cast? And she had her whole story about how that happened. When did you actually reconnect? Well, first of all, when the show ended, was there any, as you're growing up, grade school, whatever it may be, were you still associating yourself with the show, or was it kind of like not really? And then when did it come back into your life?
We told teachers and friends that we were on the show. It's been always there. And then Dad was trying to reconnect with a lot of them through email for us. We have emails with her old Melissa Gilbert's email. Then we were invited to the 2004 cast reunion at the
I think it was July 15th of 2004. So
is that the Santa Anita Race Track or whatever? Yeah.
So that's like technically, well, since after Little House, I think we did a city of Chalk. We went to an event with Dean and Victor French and a couple others for a Little House event that was at the hospital. But after that, that was the first time we seen everyone, because that's 20 years ago now, almost 21. My daughter's going to be 21 in May, and she was 2 months old.
Wow.
Which is funny because they're all like, oh, this is the baby that you guys were all passing around that you were seeing then.
And then Wendy was pregnant with her oldest at the time.
Oh, wow. Wow. What was that like to, I asked this to Jennifer too. What was that like, that first one, whether it was that charity event with Victor and Michael at the hospital or the racetrack? What was it like the first time, like walking in, like you said, you knew you were on it, but now you're like walking in and these people are like standing there. It's like, it's like seeing Mickey Mouse for the first time as a kid, at Disneyland or something.
Nervous and shy, wasn't struck, and doing our own fangirling or fan struck.
Yeah.
There's celebrities.
Like, we never met Allison on set. We met her in 2004. We didn't meet
the Greenbush twins
or the Wendy and Brenda, so that was the first, and then quite a few other actors. We actually met Charlotte there, David Freeman, didn't realize we met them back then because, you know, it's been 20 years and we're going through pictures, and Brian
Right.
Hart had it at the See Me event. He had pictures. So it's like, oh my gosh, we were all there.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. How does that feel? What did that feel like?
Coming home, being home with our extended family again, just like Jonathan Gilbert said, he's home.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. The which by the way, I thought it was really funny what you just said. And I know you're referring to yourself like, we felt kind of shy or whatever. And then you're like, it's the first time we met Allison. And the irony of that comment is Allison is the complete reverse of shy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She is about as vivacious and energetic as anybody I've ever seen. What was it? So when you saw all of them, was it kind of did you know who each one was, or everybody's aged, or did you already know?
We knew
Pretty much the majority of them. I think we had name tags or no?
I don't know.
But
You know what?
even without the name tags, you recognize their face. I'm
Mhm.
good at faces.
Yeah.
I can forget your name, but your face, if I see you across the room, I know who you are.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very
It's just
cool.
been that way.
Was Melissa at that event? I don't know.
Yes,
she does.
She was.
Dean Butler was there too. So they're not the greatest pictures, but we have pictures with both Melissa and Dean and us two together. We have one with Melissa that we're holding a picture from the dressing room my mom took on set. So that was like almost 20 years difference. And then
We did it.
we kind of did it. We wanted to do it again and See Me, but we didn't get a chance to. But we have a picture with her.
We wanted to do that 20 years kind of thing.
That's really cool. Well, by the way, what has your relationship been like with Melissa? Like, since that time. I mean, she's one of those cast members that God love her. I do, but she keeps a pretty private life,
I think she also didn't realize there was two sets of twins that played. Because in her interview on the podcast, I don't think she clued in until we were both next to each other.
Wow.
And we took a photo and See Me with her, and she's like, "Oh, there is two."
Oh my gosh, is that
Well,
wild?
because it's Jennifer and Sarah, and then it's Jennifer and Michelle.
Yeah.
So it's, it could be so confusing. There's been times I think they put
Brenda to my name, which is Wendy's sister's name. So it's it gets intermixed a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it gets a little convoluted, yeah, to say the least. Do you when you were kids, did you actually watch Little House?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Actually, our mom's memory, before we even got the audition, she sat there with us on her laps, feeding us, watching it.
Oh wow.
So it was read to her in elementary school. She's all the way through. She's watched it. So it's always been part of our lives. Her daughter, when she was little, thought it was her on the TV.
Wow. Wow.
She had the long hair and semi-blank bangs too. So she was like, "Oh, that's me." I'm like, "No, sweetie, that's your mom and aunt."
And then we're trying to get my almost 6-year-old to understand that's mom and aunt on the TV.
Wow.
And then when we're gone, "You are coming home, right?"
Oh,
yes.
wow. Wow. Jeez. What about the books? That's the other one. Have you read the books?
No, I need to sit down. I've been buying a bunch for us to have copies and then to donate. We got a couple of the cast members to sign a set to donate to my son's school because there's none at their school right now. And
Right.
I'm like,
I think I read a couple, and probably junior high, but I need to go read them again because it's been so long.
Yeah.
just to understand and then to answer fan questions too, to know it's not over our head.
Yeah. I have to tell you though, I appreciate the honesty. Jennifer had the same thing. Jennifer's like, yeah, actually it's right there. She had a bookshelf. She's like, Allison actually gave it to me. It's right here, but she hadn't read it, yet. But it's honest, I mean, it's like, I think people just assume like, well, you were on it, you must have read all those books, and it's like, it's not necessarily the case,
Our mom has the yellow cover set in our hutch thing, but I'm like, I don't want to touch it. I'll get my own. But
Yeah.
I ended up snagging a blue cover one. So I'm like scared to touch it, but
yeah. I haven't read them all either. My wife did actually to our kids, but Farmer Boy I know pretty well, and I have to say that's actually a really good book. But anyway, did you when you said that you would tell classmates and teachers that you were, on the show, what was the reaction of people at that time?
They actually like it because they're like, ooh, we go to school with someone that was on a show.
And they would bring it up. So of course, back in the late 80s and early 90s, it was movie day. So we would bring in the VHS. So they would roll out the TV with the VH player.
Oh, totally. I can picture this.
We would watch it.
Oh, that's actually cool. So you're in the class and you're watching a Little House episode that you were in.
Yes.
Okay, that's fun.
And like in Simi Valley, one of my brother and I work for the same company, and two of our coworkers showed up, and her mom was with them and ended up taking photos with us.
Oh my God.
And then I just found out yesterday another set of another coworker's friends was there. It was just like they all, like, I think 2 weeks before we went, my sales account manager sent me a photo of the Simi Valley newspaper, or a newspaper out by him that advertised the whole Simi Valley event. Like, he was all excited.
I love it. That's cool. How does it, actually, that's something that I was going to ask you too. How does it feel? Because you had a very normal life, which, is a gift, as we all kind of know now, and and what was it like for you to kind of go from that to suddenly you are part of the, touring company of Little House? What was that like for you? Like the first time you sat behind a table and it's like, well, people are going to come in now and they're going to ask you for your autograph.
So Simi Valley was my first one because I didn't.
Oh, you're kidding.
I was supposed to go to December's, and between work and then coverage of my son, because single mom technically. It was nerve-wracking anxiety the first day, and I have anxiety skyrocketing, like I was, but I didn't. No one knew it because I was just like, I'm just gonna smile.
The first one I went to was I'm gonna always say it wrong, Corsicana, Texas, in December.
Say that 5 times real fast.
I know.
Kidding.
I'm tongue-tied, so I can't say it correctly. Texas. I'm just gonna go Texas. That was a little nerve-wracking, but thankfully my daughter went with me, so she sat at the table with me, which of course people thought she was my twin because she looks so much like us.
I've seen her, I think, on your Facebook feed. I think I saw her. Yeah. But
it was a little nerve-wracking, but Simi was way more people, but it was more like, okay, I kind of get in the swing. Let's get this going. It's always the first day, the first hour is the nerve-wracking because you're like, okay, how is this going to go? Is people actually going to come up to us? But it's kind of increased over the time. So it's fun. And then we, like, at Connecticut, we had Chad Calgill that was sitting next to us. He's from Little House too. That was his first event. So we kind of took him on and like, okay, we're going to do this. This is how it goes. Next time you got to get a Square account, but we're going to help you, take cards and everything.
Oh my gosh.
It's just the fact, and Sherry too, that was her first event. So we kind of just like, okay, it'll get better. Just like, let's go, even though it was oversold. I mean, but we had a good time, and it was more extended family showing up and getting to meet more people. And that was our first time meeting Matt. We met Patrick and Simi. So
there's a photo of me next to Matt at the ribbon cutting at Kids Play, and I kind of look like I'm fangirling because I'm like, oh my God, he let me stand here. I'm like, between him and Allison, I'm like, I was telling them to go in the front because they were on it more, and they're like, no, you're part of it too. Come on.
I like how they all pushed us. It was like forward, like, okay, no, you gotta get in this,
Oh, that's fantastic. That really is.
We're like, okay, we're gonna go back here. You guys get in front.
Right. I get it. Boy, I have to say, Michelle, that's like pretty intense that your very first autograph signing was the Simi event. There were 18,000 people there.
And I don't blame Jonathan for how he felt. And that's why I kept on going on and saying, give Jonathan a couple days. Like, that first day was nerve-wracking for any of us.
Oh, sure.
But And
Oh,
you can
wow.
tell by the time the third day, his face kind of like, I'm relaxed now.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Well,
He actually got to go walk up to him and talk to him right before he ran into the other part, and hit Allison and him were doing scenes in the store.
They
Oh,
put
yes,
the,
I've
gold,
seen
the
some of
wig and that.
Like,
Yeah.
we were just talking and we're like, oh, okay, bye.
I had no clue that's where he was going. We were going to ask for like an autograph and picture ourselves so that we had something.
Right.
But
That's so funny. I gotta tell you so what does it feel like? Okay, so you've got anxiety, you're sitting there, and that first person walks up and says, "Hey, could you sign it to Billy from, whatever it is?" What was that like to like pick the pen up and like start writing your autograph and think someone is actually, wants this, like
it was pretty surreal. Like it still is every time, because it's like you actually acknowledge that who we are, we don't have memories, and you still want an autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And like even our mom said, like at the pool at one of the hotels when we were 2 years old, there was people asking for our autograph. We were 2 years old, we didn't know how to write.
Oh my
So
gosh. Wow, that is
We-
kind of crazy.
I've been at Disneyland when actors have walked by, and I'm just like, cool. And then I've been there when Britney Spears was there with her kids, and like people are like reacting. I'm like, just let her be. She finally gets a day with her kids.
Right. Yeah. That's very hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, you do gain an appreciation to have also some normality in your life. Yeah. That's for sure. By the way, why did you stop acting? Why did I'm gathering your mom made that decision probably. I don't know.
He took us on a couple more. Well, she did a scene or episode of Airwolf. I did it's a scene more so of Highway to Heaven. I giggled at French. She took us on a couple other auditions, but the same child kept getting them. So she's like, I'm not going to waste my time. And we kind of started looking different a little bit more. And then we went to school. So
Yeah.
And if we probably had no issues pronouncing words and speaking, we might have gone back to it. It's just the tongue tied. I just never thought to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I got you. You mentioned both those episodes. I had seen that that you had done that. And first of all, how old were you for Airwolf, and how old were you for Highway to Heaven?
A year later?
Less than a year later.
So it was like maybe three and a half, 4.
Did what I get, this is the other side of that, because I have a background in acting. I've been in the business a long time, whatever. A lot of times they use twins because it's like, just change them out. Here we go. Here's the one, change that, and we don't have to mess. Why didn't you go together?
Her Highway to Heaven, I hid behind Mom.
Gotcha.
I was too shy.
It was supposed to be for both of us on that one.
Yeah,
So
I would just think so. It's yeah. But you were like, forget it. You were hiding. Yeah. Okay.
I'm still shy on some things.
Same here.
Yeah,
I'm talking more than I
okay.
normally do. The more and more I do interviews and being in front of people, I get better at. Like I get more comfortable. I'm just standoffish at times.
Yeah, I get it. We all have our personalities. I totally understand.
And then I never know what's on my face.
Same here.
Interesting.
I have to fix my face.
Very interesting. If you want to get in on the fun of That's Classic, go to my merchandise store. You can get a t-shirt, a mug, or a variety of items. The QR code is right here on the screen. That'll take you right to the site, or I'll put it in the description below the video. Have fun, enjoy. Let's go back to the interview. What now? And then what about Airwolf? What wasn't that? I think I had read that it was like a home movies. One of you had that in a paragraph on something for like Ernest Borgnine's character.
From what I understand, it was Ernest Borgnine's character looking back at memories of his daughter that passed away on the episode. So it's recreating those memories, and it was at Catalina Island at the casino, part of that area when it was still open.
Yeah,
like we went on a cruise years ago, and it was my mom wanted to go there, and we couldn't even get in.
We walked down there, but that was it.
Interesting.
That was in August of 2003. We went on a cruise, so we walked around that area. It was
blocked off and closed, and I think you had to make an appointment to tour it
at that time.
Interesting. But looking at the, obviously I'm sure you both have watched the two movies that you were in. It was The Last Farewell and Bless the Dear Children. I think they labeled them. What do you have a personal preference of which one you prefer over the other?
I know from the call sheets, like she was mainly in The Last Farewell, and I was mainly in the Bless All the Dear Children.
Interesting.
She was, I think, at the end of Bless All the Dear Children when they found us.
I think because from what Mom said, that they didn't have to stop and redo a lot of the scenes, so they were able to keep going. So she was able to stay on the episode longer, or doing the scenes. And then I think she hit the cutoff, or
the hour
or whatever. So then I was brought in.
Interesting. Well, that's kind of cool that she remembers that, Yeah. How, as far as, we mentioned Jennifer, and who I think she's fantastic. And I'm just curious, how close are you with Jennifer now that you guys have, kind of gotten?
We sit down and have talks when we're together at events like Tombstone. We try to sit with her and talk with her and the other cast members as much as possible.
We send texts once in a while when we're not all busy, because she's working full time, we're working full time. But we all correspond as much as we can with all of our obligations or commitments that we're all doing. So that's one good thing, is that it kind of brought us all where we could communicate, even email, text, or in person. We talk to each other.
Like we all saw them last weekend. We were in Simi Valley for the bus tours.
Yes, which I've talked to a few fans that literally have said they love those bus tours. Yeah. How does that? Go ahead.
I think the next one's the end of November.
If it goes all planned.
Yeah.
I got you. And how is it decided, like, who's gonna, who out of the cast is gonna be on the, be there for it?
For sure, like Dean and Pamela and David and the crew member Charlotte, they do and Wendy, they do the bus tours, and because they have the memories.
Oh, well, David went on it, but I don't think he spoke during it. He just went on one of the tours.
Yeah. But they lead the tours. We stay back and in between
meeting the fans that come in,
because they all check in for the different time slots.
That's cool.
It was our first time doing that one, so it was a little different. It's a little warm.
Yeah, it is. It gets so hot out in Simi. I mean, I'm in LA myself, so yeah, I mean, it does.
We're out in the Inland Empire, so it's over 80 right now today. So we kind of know it. It's just a different sitting in the sun, but it was, we still made fun, good time, and talked to each other between fans coming up and between the tours.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Do you want to
answer your question? We all communicate with Kathy that works for Simi Valley, and that puts on those. So that's how we connected. We're like, do you want us to come out too? We're welcome to come out. So we came out. I help her admin the Simi Valley page, so that's how I contacted her.
Very cool. The through text, did you say?
Text message, because we were going to go do the September one, but we already had, since Tennessee we canceled Tennessee's event. We had something else that was going on the same weekend, so we went to that instead.
I got you. Yeah. How, we don't have to get too heavily into this, but how do you, how have you kind of dealt with this kind of, I guess the promoters of the 50th, some of them, let's put it that way, that have kind of caused some kind of major issues with some of these things having to be canceled. How painful has that been for you guys?
We feel like the fans, it's heartbreaking, because we want to see them, but we also don't want them to be impacted by the wrongdoing.
The long wait, not being misguided information, and us as cast trying to make sure that the fans come first, which is what we always do, and we did in Connecticut and Pennsylvania, because that was pretty crazy. And like we've said on the Facebook on a couple comments, Connecticut's dinner thing, that was
Debacle.
unfortunate because the
Yeah.
amount of money people spent, the amount of time that we all tried to get there and be there for it, and the fact that there was no light
No
for the
light.
food.
I
And
mean, come on.
we quickly ate, and then we got up to start greeting fans because we felt like, okay, that's not nice. And then we saw some of the empty containers, and we went to go find the rest and swap it out. And then there was a stack of the empty containers, so I went and tried, like, we finally got a bag, and I just started shoving it in the bag and putting it off to the side so it was not in view of everyone.
Wow.
And I offered, because I had rented a car while we were there. I'm like, I can go get waters, like, but someone said that someone else was going to get it. I'm like, I will go. I have a car. Let me go get it.
Oh, this is so ridiculous. I mean,
Yes.
seriously, it's ridiculous.
And a lot of us, we haven't said a lot of stuff publicly because we were trying to, but since Dean and everything, which I'm glad that they did the podcast and they talked about the elephant, and it's just sad because it hurt more of our fans than, yes, financially us, but it was more of them because they put all this money out for them to not get what they were paid for.
Like, we were not informed about how we were all getting misinformation. Like, we were told, okay, this is how much you're going to charge for this, and you both get this amount for, you each get that amount. Like, and then we were finding out, no, it shouldn't have been that way. And it was like, and we were telling fans stuff that we were told, and we're like, I kept on having to go back to people saying, I'm sorry. Like, I was missing.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt bad because it's like, I was doing what I was told or what I was informed.
Sure. No, I get you.
I mean, there's many things that I wish we could have said to the fans as it was going on, but we were keeping a smile on our face, and a lot of the time, every day we were staying until Charlotte's line was gone because we didn't want to leave her in that room.
Yeah.
Or the other, like at Pennsylvania, that the first day was crazy. We had the breakfast and then we had the meet and greet. And then we were still seeing people at 7:30 at night when we should have already shut down, packed up, because Pennsylvania was 2 different spots that we were at.
Oh my!
It wasn't the same line, so we had to pack up all
and she was by herself on those.
Pack up all our stuff, but then I don't know if anyone else has said it, but we were told start handing out free autographs and selfies and get these people into the dinner because they paid. And it's like, well, I'm losing money. The other cast are losing money, but we went and started signing and doing selfies. And then we weren't told that we were supposed to stay after dinner and still give people autographs and stuff because we were told to pack up. Well, we only had a certain amount of time we could be in that spot.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing, is a lot of fans didn't understand that that's the thing. We're only allowed to be there so long.
Right. Yeah.
And, we didn't get breaks. I had to run to the restroom and come back quickly because it's like, I didn't want to leave people waiting. And the second day of Pennsylvania, I was the first table and it was windy, but we kind of like changed how we as a cast, and the vendors weren't selling. So they helped out and changed how we were getting people through. The constable Bill that was that was helping us. He was helping, making sure, because no one was checking tickets.
No one was really scanning those tickets
making
sure.
And then, like, that's the thing. You have to make sure there's appropriate, and you tell the vendor, the places that we're at, how many people are coming.
Yeah.
So a lot of we all tried pitching, like, thankful Olin, Hector, and Trish, and then Donna Jo and her husband, they all ran and got water and then started handing it out to the fans because they were in line. It was a hot, warm day in Pennsylvania, not what they're used to, but it was a warm day.
Yeah.
It was cooler to me, but it was warm.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's terrible. It's a terrible reflection because you don't get much better fans than the Little House fans. I mean, I'm not just saying that, because you guys are on, but it's just a fact. You know, they're
Yeah.
they're
And
they're
like in
great fans.
Lancaster, he kept on going, like someone told him to come get a couple of the cast and take them and walk the lines to greet the fans. I'm like, we should have been doing that all along, like taking turns, because they were in lines for hours.
Oh,
I think they were in longer lines than they dealt with in Simi Valley.
wow. And those
And
were
it was
long lines. I talked to some people.
cooler
Yeah.
weather. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was a long line to get in to see me, but at least once they got into the room, we kind of knew how to work it. Like if they were in
Mhm.
line for the bigger stars, we would tell them, okay, if somebody's standing in line or if the person in front of you lets you, come and go to the other tables quickly and get back in line.
Yeah. Right.
And that's kind of what we're doing at Pennsylvania too, and Connecticut too,
We were
where we're
trying-
able to.
Without getting yelled at.
Like, come
Wow.
on, if you want, you can stay in line, but you know, if you're not just staying for Charlotte or
Hmm.
basically it was Charlotte, the big name in our room. So
Yeah.
there's other, you know, the rest of us around the room.
Right. Right. Boy, it's just crazy because, you know, the CME event was, I mean, I've talked to enough people that were there. I did not make it that weekend because I literally couldn't get out there. But I heard it was just the best. Even people that waited said it was great because it was handled, you know, everything came from like a standpoint of care and, taking care of people. And it was truly for the fans, kind of feeling. And then you have all this, ridiculous stuff take place in these other locations. You're like, really? Really? But, the difference with SEMI is you had more of like, Dean and, different cast members that really were, they ran it. They kind of had it. And I feel like when you got to some of the other places, it was more, I hate to say an outsider, but, kind of that. And it sounds like that was definitely more about money for those people. So that's a shame. It's really a shame. But yeah. Well, one of the other things that I was curious about, I don't even know. Do you have a book out or are you?
We're in the process of working on it.
We're working on it.
How can you be part of the Little House cast and not write a book? I mean, everybody.
Thankful mom and dad remember a lot. So we've been with some of the behind the scenes photos that my mom took, and she took a lot. So we have a good amount.
Oh, that's
that we're going to try to like put it in a book all together.
Like a coffee table, the old school books.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
My daughter's already designed the cover, and one of our bookmarks that is sold is her design. So
Nice.
it's we're all involved in it, and that's the thing. It's like we're just trying to make a good book just for the behind the scenes of when we were on it, how we got started, what
led our mom to that point, and what they feel like too now that they're seeing us the full circle of it, because they were with us in Simi Valley, and it was kind of cool because I was like, someone asked me a question, I'm like, Mom's right there, can you go ask her?
That's cool.
Yeah,
well, I don't know it.
Mom, Dad will walk around and go look at, talk to people while he was walking around. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I like the idea of using, look, as any fan of Little House, you definitely would be thinking, oh, she did take a lot of photos. Oh my gosh, I'd love to see those. So I like that you're approaching it that way. I remember when I talked to Jennifer about her book, which, it was really hard to get. I couldn't even get a hold of a copy. But one of the things I did say to her is I said, were there, photos? And she's like, well, the next version there will be. I was trying to, it's hard enough getting the book together. But I will say, it's the same in her case. She has some photos. It's like fans love that. That's so important. So I like your approach. I think it's a good one. It's solid. People be looking for that,
Yeah. And then some of us are all supplying some stuff that's going to come up soon in Hollywood. So we're supplying some of our items just on view for a while.
On loan.
Is this like Hollywood Museum, possibly something like that?
Possibly, I think.
Possibly.
I just don't know the dates, and we don't know
the details. That's what we've been trying to work on since we're home, in between working and other things going on.
Oh yeah, I get it. And by the way, which one of you is in the material handling industry? Okay. All right. Now, I don't know enough about that, but I do find it really interesting that you're in that. And then I talked to Jennifer and she's a heavy machine operator.
Right?
I mean,
And I'm
come
over
on.
here as a medical and mental health biller.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
So
what
I
are
was,
the chances of that? Like,
the
you know
what's
what I mean? It's just kind of
funny
wild.
is growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. My
Uh-huh.
mom's like, they only get paid once a month. They don't get paid as much as you think they do. Let's go
True.
to a different direction. And then we worked in high school, we worked for Wetzel's Pretzel. Then we went on
We worked in warehouses.
warehouses.
Well, it was Easy Live, but now it's Valvoline oil change. We were
place.
cashiers. We
Yeah.
worked
Yeah.
at Carl's Jr. I worked at Blimpies.
I've worked at Steinmart. I've worked at Big Lots. Ralph's during the strike as one of the scabs with my mom.
Yeah.
I worked at Granger for a week.
You did medical temp with me, and we were medical records at
Concentra that they use
Concentra
for
work
workers' comp.
I love how many times you've worked together too. That's what I'm really liking about
And
it.
then
We work.
this is the second company I've worked material handling, and I've worked with our younger brother. So I got him at our old job, Crown Lift Trucks. It's a forklift company. And then he started at Raymond West, we call it here. And then he's like, you need to come over. This was during COVID 4 years ago. Actually, today is my hire date. 4 years ago.
Wow, that is weird.
So before these two companies, I actually worked in a warehouse operating the equipment. And then
darn.
full circle is the part of the company that Robert, our brother, works and I work on is the conveyor side that we put conveyors inside of all the Amazon built, the ones that we get.
That's a big gig. Wow.
And during high school, I did a job shadowed our dad, who's an AutoCAD or draftsman, and it was for a company doing conveyors. I sat there and drew conveyors with him. And I'm like, how is that 20 something years later, I'm working for a company that does that.
I love stories like that though. I really do, because I think it's really funny how, we have different moments in our lives, like you're doing something and you think, well, that's great. Like, I don't know how that's going to apply to my life, or, it was fun. It was fun. And then like you say, like 20 years later, it actually has evolved as part of something that, puts you where you are now. It's kind of cool.
And during CME, Todd, that was with us in Connecticut, but he was moving the facades around, was needing a trucking company. And I'm like, oh, well, let me get a hold of one of our contacts that we use, logistics. And I'm like, here's his information just in case. Like, I was working while we were there.
Yeah,
I literally
was
working like off and on. I'm salary, so I'm always on my phone, like processing emails while we're sitting there.
Oh, funny.
I think it helps us too, because we both have been in the customer service, like working in different industries, that we could know how to, like, okay, we got to put our smile on. We got to, be happy. Everything else may be falling apart, but we're going to be happy and make the people happy that's coming to our table. And I think that's helped too with us. And now that we're more talking and interviewing and talking to people, it's kind of helped us too, not be so shy and nervous when we talk to people.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. What would you say, and maybe it's different for each of you, but what would you say your favorite fan experience has been so far? Like, as far as, somebody coming up with this, had a story or just whatever.
The ones that become good friends now, that follow us around,
like Holly and Tommy and
Julie and Janet, the
twins
from CME that we've run into multiple times. They were in Connecticut,
and now our Canadian friends that helped us. The fans were helping us in Connecticut. They were helping clean up. They were helping get ran and got us food.
I mean, we went to Tombstone. We had
Kim Williams, who owns
Hotel Tombstone. That's where we did the event. But
I did see photos. Nadine was there too, right?
Yes, that was his book signing.
Yeah.
But we met her out in Simi Valley, her and Renee. So, we've met them. And then we know Laura LS that we know from Simi, but we met her in Tombstone.
She's friends with our mom.
She's friends with our mom now.
She's friends with your mom?
Yeah, everyone's friends with mom.
There's
Yeah.
Rosa
Wow.
that we met in Simi Valley. We saw in Connecticut. She bought a bunch of our bookmarks for her friends that are teachers, and then one of her friends was at Simi. So it's like, you know,
we get to meet, like we have people on Facebook, but then when we finally meet them in person, it's like, oh, I have the face to the name now. Even though you see them on there, it's like I get one-on-ones.
The gentleman Nate and his two brothers, Nate, Jake, and
we just forgot. It's like a bunch
he has the Michael Landon tattoo on his arm that
Wow.
he posted. Well, he was in Simi Valley, so we all were fanning over them. Oh my gosh, they're here!
And then Wendy's got a photo of them lifting her up at
on the tour that she did.
Oh wow!
Because their body.
Wow. That's
but
pretty
I think
cool.
It's the fact that there's fans that we care about because they make an effort to know us and be friends and always make sure that we're okay, but we make sure that they're okay at the events or off, you know, behind the scenes on Facebook or whatnot. It's just the fact that it makes you feel good that they see you as an adult and not a kid still, because that was happening and see me that they told our mom. I keep thinking that they're the 2.5-year-olds.
Right.
And they're adults.
Yeah.
I can't picture it. It's like, yeah, we're adults. We're moms.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's hilarious because I have a couple of Facebooks. So my Rose Wilder one, I had to put my last name first to do the verified thing. And people are like, who are you? And I'm like having to, go down the line of.
And I'm in the process of trying to get mine verified because I have to prove my last name is my last name.
Oh, wow.
Because
I kept
poor
my kids,
Dean,
you know,
even though he's verified, there's like
people that
new ones every day that are pretending to be him. Like
that's terrible. I know
like,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, if you're the real one, text me because he's got my phone number. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, and then you never hear from him, and then they disappear. Like proof.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's terrible. I don't understand that whole trolling thing. I don't get it.
I feel for our fans that buy into it and they send these people money. I've got one that was pretending to be Dean, and they're from Nigeria and saying they're 16. I'm like, you're not 16.
Right.
Well, I need $300 for my fees. I'm like, I need that $300 for my kids. So no.
Exactly. That's pathetic. Yeah. I mean, come on.
And the fact that most of the fans know a lot of us aren't in the show business anymore, so we don't make a lot of money. We were cast as extras, so we don't get residuals, just like Jennifer and her sister. I mean, we weren't getting residuals because we're cast as extras.
I never knew that. Even when I talked to Jennifer, I don't think she had told me that.
Yeah, most of us don't. So people think, oh, you're making money. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, honey. I'm a mom of 2 kids that I'm trying to support and make sure that we have a roof over our heads. Or we don't make money. What we make at these events,
and we take time off from our jobs.
Exactly.
If
you have to get there. Yeah. Oh, I understand. Yeah, Jennifer was saying the same thing. She's like, look, I'm not making a fortune from this. I want to get back to my heavy machinery job. Yeah, I get it. That's interesting. I did not know that you guys were labeled as extras because wow.
I think we're going to try. We got to get to the side and file improved so we can get that all done. But we found all of our workers' permits,
our permits and
checks,
our copies of the paycheck stubs and everything.
Sure. Well, they've got a good group over there. I mean, I'm part of the Screen Actors Guild, and they have a really good law, group of lawyers. So if there is something there, they'll go after it.
Yeah.
So I wish you both really good luck on that. I hope you get it. That would be kind of nice. Well, cool. What do you have before we kind of wrap it up? What do you have on the agenda coming up? Are there any other events still to go, or are we?
I know we possibly might have in the future next year, possibly, but right now it's just
we're waiting to see.
The Simi Valley, we'll go to that. We were trying to get it to go to other things, but we haven't heard back. So
we tried the Hollywood one this weekend, but they didn't have room.
Oh, the Hollywood show.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I had the funds, I'm like, we would be going to meet like the 90210 fan, like crew and all them. I'm like, I just want to meet them for myself.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. They were there. Yeah.
I want to do next month's the Vampire Diary guys. I'm huge fans of that. We read both books and watched the show. So
that'll be going. I'll give you a little on the Hollywood show for the 90210 guys. Tori Spelling was the one that had a line that never ever let up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brian Austin Green and Ian Ziering, and I'm trying to think of what other, I think those were like the main, like, really the main. And I'm not saying they didn't have people come up, but it was nothing like Tori Spelling. It was off the charts. I mean, that was for the whole event, by the way, that she dominated it, So yeah, definitely. Very interesting. Yeah. But anyway, listen, I really appreciate you guys being on, and any reasonable sense of when that book might come out?
As soon as we could get it and get a publisher.
Gotcha.
Unless we do it ourselves, we're trying to figure out which avenue we want to go. It's pricey.
It is. Yeah, it is. I get it. It's hard to self-publish, but it can be done in a, it still work. But yeah, well, I wish you the best, and thanks a lot for being on.
Thank you.
A lot of fun. Yeah. Good luck with your normal jobs too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye. Have a good day.
Well, thanks for listening, and definitely hit the subscription button. As well, hit the notification bell so that you'll know when my next episode is released. In addition, check out some of my other interviews if you haven't had a chance. Eric Roberts, Henry Winkler, Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver. There's so many. Enjoy.